Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to High School Wrestling on the Region Sports Network, streaming live at facebook.com/Region Sports, regionwrestling.com, regionsports.com, and youtube.com/Region Sports. We come to you tonight from Gavit High School as Team Toyota in Cherville presents the Gavit Gladiators taking on the Hobart Brickies. My name is Nathan Laird, and I'll be joined on the call of the matches tonight by Louis Acuna and Mike Reiser. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
A historic night here at Gavit High School. The final home duel in Gavit Gladiators wrestling history. We'll talk about some of the history of Gavit wrestling, including some connections to one of our announcing members here as well. But guys, it's a pleasure to be out here. With the school consolidation and everything, a lot of history here at Gavit. Had to be here for the final one.
Yeah, Gavit's been doing a really good job. Coach Soyka, has really kind of brought the program up a little bit more every year, and I think they can compete for a sectional title this year. But in the last year, that's unfortunate because I think they put a lot of work in. I know they have a lot of younger guys.
Yeah, we'll talk about previous state qualifiers and everything from Gavit, but I had a chance to speak with Coach Soyka before the duel this evening. He had time to come up and join us here, so I'm going to throw it to that in this pre-recorded interview. Talk to him again about the emotions and everything coming in tonight, and we'll be back with you guys here in a few moments. Back to Gavit High School, Nathan Laird here, now joined by Chris Soyka, head coach of the Gavit Gladiators. Chris, thanks for taking some time ahead of the duel to join us.
Well, thanks so much for coming out in our last year here at Gavit. We really appreciate you giving these guys a little bit of a showcase on your network there.
Yeah, one of the reasons we wanted to come out, the final duel here at Gavit, what was kind of the message to your guys leading into tonight, that this being the final wrestling event here?
Well, it's the same normal thing we do every year. This is the final home meet, but it's not the final meet of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The tough is coming up. The road to state starts real soon. And so we're trying not to focus too much on that tonight, treating it like a normal duel, but it's always in the back of our mind. Every time we step on the mat, we know the minutes left are counting down. And tonight, unfortunately, this clock counts down to 0.
Right, and usually the final home duel of the season, senior night, but for everybody here, it's almost senior night in a way, with it being the last one here. Have you noticed any sort of change? I know you can tell them, it's no different than any other home duel, but have you noticed a little bit of a change in the attitude leading into this?
We've had a good week of practice. We were at the duels over the weekend at Hanover and came out of that knowing that we needed to work on some stuff. So we were super focused this week on taking care of that stuff and getting ready to be on a mat against a very talented Hobart group.
Where do you think your team is at as we enter the final stretch of the regular season tournament right around the corner? What are you happy with your lineup so far?
Well, so far, I'll tell you, we're happy with the numbers we have to fill out most of our lineup. We got a few that we're missing. We're hoping to get them back really soon before conference and sectionals. But we're moving in the right direction, and we got a great group. That's the thing I'm most impressed with this year is just the number of people and the amount of experience and talent we have.
Yeah, sectionals just around the corner, just a couple weeks away here from tonight as we're here for Gavit and Hobart, the final duel here at Gavit. Looking back on your history here with Gavit Wrestling, is there a single event match that kind of stands out to you from your time here at Gavit?
Here at Gavit, we have had Fairhaven, we've had Calumet, we've had Hobart come in. We've had a lot of great duels here, a lot of great teams. They all stand out to me. The one thing that stands out is probably the first conference win for the program, which was a big step for the program, and then just getting kids to the next level in the state tournament. Having things here is always special events for us. We're always going to love our home events, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a match at a time, and we'll go to the next meet and take it one match at a time.
One of the things you had mentioned to me a couple days ago when I talked to you about us coming out here for tonight's broadcast is finding some history of Gavit Wrestling, and you found a whole kind of cache archive of Gavit Wrestling, a lot of Coach Richard J's stuff.
Yeah, I found basically all the records you could ever imagine from Lake County from about 1962 to 1989. Lineups, bout cards, brackets, state brackets, sectional brackets from South Bend. I mean, you name it, it's there. I've got about 12 filing cabinets downstairs.
Wow.
Full of everything you could just imaginable.
Well, we're spoiling it by saying that on air, because I was going to say you could maybe not tell anybody you found that and hold on to that yourself, but now kind of the word's out that you have that.
I want to get it out there because Gavit has a very rich history, not just within its wrestlers, but within its coaching staff. Rich J, of course, was one of the big names. We've had Melby and Pintor and just a litany of great wrestling coaches here at Gavit and in the school city of Hammond. I was thinking about that today, and one of the things I thought about was we have 4 schools, and I started thinking about all of our histories. And you've got Clark with your Strabavis and Trombettas and the Perezes, and you got Hammond High with the Muds and the Pettits and all these names, and Carl Deek. Every school in Hammond has a rich history like that. It's neat to find that stuff and have it.
And you even found a relation, for connected to Gavit Wrestling that you didn't even know
Yeah,
about.
I found a list of all the coaches from the beginning of the program till about 1989. And I was going down it, we were looking at the names. Oh, wow, look at that, Tom Cameron, oh, look at that. And the name Soyka popped up. And there he was, and somewhere in the late 80s, mid 80s, and I had no idea. Turned out my uncle was here for a short time as a wrestling coach, which is kind of neat. And yeah, it's that kind of history. That's all over the place that people, I won't say forgot, but just maybe don't know.
Yeah, that they're not aware of. Well, you were able to find that stuff. I know you're going to keep it preserved for everybody to learn about it and check that out. So, Chris, thanks so much for having us come out tonight, letting us come out tonight, broadcast this final duel, and for your time here ahead of the duel against Hobart, and good luck.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you to RSN for all the love you've given us over the years with our program and all the respect you've given to our kids and our athletes. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, and we will definitely be seeing you guys during the tournament.
Excellent, thank you.
Chris Soyka, head coach of the Gavit Gladiators. They're taking on Hobart here in just a little bit. We'll be back after this here on the Region Sports Network, where the region comes to wrestle. Back here from Gavit High School, Nathan Laird, Lewis Kuna, Mike Reiser, Gavit and Hobart in a non-conference duel, the final duel here at Gavit. Tournament just around the corner, though, guys. We got conference tournaments this weekend. Exciting time of year when it comes to high school wrestling.
Yeah.
Go take it away, Mike.
Yeah, we talked about it last week on our show that a lot of conferences moved up a week, so you got a lot of good ones. And now it's kind of a difficult time because, the Perry-Meridian Conference that they're in, I think it's the Mid-Indiana Conference, they had a split, so they went 6 through 45 then one night, and then 52 through heavyweight the next night.
Yeah, so it's a strange time, but I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is the home stretch, what everybody's been preparing for, and guys have been sitting out since break, maybe due to quarantine. So this is going to be some of their first matches back to see how they bounce back, finishing out the year.
How important are these late season duels, even these non-conference ones and these conference tournaments, especially with this season being so different? You didn't have the Lake County, you didn't have the Al Smith earlier in the season. Does that add to the importance of events like this and of these conference tournaments as we head to the sectionals?
Yeah, it's a different, it's just a different year. Like normally, you don't overfeel that because you have like the Al Smith we were talking about that was canceled this year, and the Lake County, which is a big one, or they used to do one at Hobart, the Gary Burkhart, which like the last weekend before sectionals, which is different. But these are guys that you could possibly see at the regional.
As Chris Soyka addresses the crowd, thanking everybody for coming out, and again the historical aspect of the event tonight.
Yeah, Coach Soyka is such a good dude too.
Yeah.
Just an overall good guy. Like does a lot for the area. Just always a guy that's always happy when you see him. I've never heard him say anything bad about anybody.
Yeah, he's great for the wrestling community, great for the city of Hammond. Hopefully, he gets to still be a part of everything that is wrestling in Hammond because he's done a great job here for Hammond Gavit.
One of the things we touched on when I had a chance to talk with him before tonight's duel started is the amount of historical stuff that he found that was Coach Rich Jay's. Just all the information going back to the 60s. And he touched on it in the interview, but I had a chance to talk to him on the phone a couple days ago. He was telling me everything that was in there. He was so excited to find this cache of historical wrestling information from the entire city of Hammond, but especially Gavit, which was great to see that somebody who we know is going to take care of it, going to preserve that history. He now has it and is going to make sure it gets to where it needs to go, and people are going to be able to celebrate in that history.
Yeah, and Coach Richard Day used to put out this publication, the Matt Burns magazine, which was always really cool. You get him at the semi-state, and it was really well done. He basically funded it out of his own pocket. Kept his own records. Everyone's records were in there. Fastest fall in the state. And they would do a pick the champions contest. Where you got to have it in before Saturday morning at state, and you get a free ticket to the state finals. The next year. When he passed away in 2015, I believe his daughter reached out and sold a lot of the stuff to Indiana Matt. So a lot of our record keeping was stuff that Richard J. Had accumulated over the years, and he was one of the first historians, definitely in our area, and not just in wrestling, but cross country and a lot of different sports. A true legend of the sport. It was sad to see him pass away.
It's good to see that information, though. Again, you guys at Indiana Matt and then Coach Soyka are going to be able to, again, let people hold on to those memories for years and years to come. As starting lineups are announced here for both teams, going to have some changes across the board for both teams. As Brandon Root, our cameraman, was doing a good job taking notes as they announced them. There's some other changes.
Yeah, and I see that you guys got a lot of the stuff, and when we were here, I think I was right in that area where they were pretty good. They were good in the early 2000s and late 90s. We wrestled them at the team regional a couple times. You had Juan Alba, who was a medalist and a state qualifier. Kenny Kidd, who was a state qualifier. Ryan Mizak, who was a medalist in 97, 98, who passed away this past year, I think when we were at the state finals. Mm-hmm. He wrestled a really tough dude Saturday morning from Princeton, a two-time champ, and Josh Hardy. Brian Silvas was a qualifier as a junior. I was there. Unfortunately, he lost an illegal slam at the regional when there was no wrestle back, And then that's kind of like one of the things in Indiana wrestling. There's some rounds where you don't get a second chance. And, one mistake like that, we seen it last year, and I see Larry out there with Bobby in the ticket round.
Right.
There was an illegal slam that ended his season. You don't ever, know going forward. Now he's injured and possibly out for the year.
Yeah, broke his hand shortly before the holidays. So I believe tonight we're going to...
It sounds like Hobart's bumping up. There, Zach just showing. He sent me a message and then just walked over and said they're going to bump up. So, which is exciting, man. You want to get these guys matches, and this is cool. Coach Cook's an awesome guy. I'm sure you guys have been. He had a very great career also, but to do this here for these guys, it's tough to get matches, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, I emailed him earlier, asked him for his lineup, and you guys can see all the information he sent me just for live. We said it's probably overkill, but here's what I got.
Not just a great dude.
Right.
He cares.
That's
he
right.
Cares about
and I told him,
wrestling.
I said, Coach, I'd rather have too much information than not enough.
He's just an all-around good guy, man, and I think
Absolutely.
He's really good for the sport also. We talked about Chris. Jason's done a really good job, and I think he makes it fun. My brother has taken his son to his club a couple times, and it's just the way he teaches. And look at the man, they got Larry out there too. I think we're chasing Larry around these duels now.
Yeah, I saw him walk in. I had to harass him a little bit. He had the Maryville Crown Point we did last week, as we're going to have a forfeit here. We're starting at 113. So I'll update the score. We're going to have a forfeit at 120 as well.
And this is the unfortunate part of being in the quarantine and things like that is, whether you're in class or you're not in class, you're not, you can't keep control of it as much as you can. Like, he said that he's missing some guys.
Yeah, forfeit at 126 as well. So our first match will be at 132.
Good shot here.
Good defense, good hip defense. I believe this is Stewart. Is this Stewart for Gavit?
Yeah, it's Quentin Stewart for Gavit, Johnny McGill for Hobart.
And Hobart, I know one of their main goals was to make the IHS WCA team state. And they were able to go out there and compete. I mean, probably not having the day that they wanted to have. I mean, listen to a guy like Babcock, who is a highly rated guy, had a nice career, hurt them. Good dump there.
Good dump and scramble.
Nothing.
Good scramble there by Stewart to fend off that takedown.
A good hold there by Larry, too. It's an official.
All right, that's our one compliment for Larry for the evening.
You get on the officials enough when they do something
right.
good, you want to tell them, man. There's a lot of younger officials that probably would award it 2 and 1 there.
Nice crowd on hand here. It's parents and household members, but I know there were some alumni were going to come out tonight as well, again, to celebrate tonight being the final duel here at Gavit.
Yeah, you got Coach Ballish down here also.
Yeah, he's down there for Hobart in the stands. He's been around forever.
Yeah, good front head there. Probably, he gets the 2 there, but if he chases that a little bit more, he probably gets a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's that front headlock position. That's a big hustle position. Like Mike was saying, you hustle into your angle more, get that takedown a little bit easier instead of just hanging out on the side and hopefully running through him.
A little bit high here at the legs. So you got 5 seconds left. McGill kind of put together a couple different things there. He had that cross wrist right, went to a side leg. So 2-0 going into the second period here for Johnny McGill of Hobart.
Yeah, and I don't think he was in the lineup earlier in the season when with Mr. Colzo when I got the call when at the Hobart Super Duel. So it's a good experience for Johnny McGill, and he's putting together some good rides, and he's been very offensive on his feet too.
Yeah, I think they're without a couple of the Padilla brothers are not in there. Trevor Triana is not in there tonight. Gavit's had some recent success, too, with Jamari Johnson, who's now wrestling at Calumet College, and Jamari Washington, who's at Wabash. I mean, that's a nice thing for Coach Soyka. He had 2 guys wrestling at the next level.
And I remember, we didn't see them much. We didn't do those sectional broadcasts, but we saw them at regionals. We saw them at semi-state. Both those guys were really fun to watch. Real high-scoring wrestlers.
Yeah, I think those guys went to some programs where they can have some success. I believe there's another wrestler from Gavit that's at Calumet College also right now, which is, if you want to continue to wrestle, it's right down the street. And I think, get a degree and be able to do something you want to do for 4 years. Good shot there. Good hard double to his back. Looking for a half.
Way to continue wrestling for Stewart.
That's a real explosive double there.
Very explosive. Didn't really fire one off in the first period, but he really fired it off here in the second. Trying to settle in, and he gets the fall to open the night for the Gladiators.
Wow. Quentin Stewart with the fall for Gavit. So we're going to move to 138. We're going to have Connor Johnson of Hobart taking on Chris Gill from the Gavit Gladiators.
Connor Johnson's been in the lineup the entire year for the Brickies.
Yeah, he impressed me a bit when we got to see him at their Super Duel. He was a guy that was a scrapper, getting after it all day.
I believe he was in the lineup a little bit last year too. So, wrestling the schedule that Hobart wrestles. I know that the Crown Point Friday night duel has been canceled, which is disappointing. That's a big one, but those guys wrestle a lot of tough teams, and it's always exciting to get out there and you get some of the younger guys. They start getting a lot of experience. I mean, you guys were at Portage. I mean, you guys didn't get a lot of nights off.
No.
Kind of go to this dump here.
Yeah, good dump and continuation to really chase the edge there for Johnson. Right into a cross wrist ride. So Gill's got a minute to work there on bottom. Hopefully he could go get one for himself before the end of this period.
40 seconds remaining here in the first.
Yeah, Johnson really working that wrist ride, looking to get tilts. He's looking to score on top, using it. Don't know exactly what he was attempting there, but I mean, he's controlling wrists and being real heavy on top, and it's definitely how you want to start a first period out for yourself.
Yeah, 21 seconds left here. But enough time for Gill to get an escape here. Maybe short time. First move, we talked about it last week. First move is going to be so important here, especially if you're working that cross wrist ride.
Yeah, and he's right back to chopping, trying to get a hold of these wrists. But there's Gill, short time, 12 seconds, gets away. In a underhook position there for himself, a controlled tight end in the first period.
I think this is kind of where Johnson got that dump at earlier. He went from an overhook there.
So 2-1 in favor of Johnson from Hobart as we start the second.
Yeah, and Gill chooses bottom. He's hoping he can find some success again to get away.
I know when talking with Coach Maldonado or Bobby Joe when he's on here, sometimes when he has that choice, he wants to maybe build a little bit of a lead. Now it's going to be a tie match now.
Yep. It changes the dynamic. You kind of let that guy back into the match. Those close matches, you kind of want to build those points early.
Looks like he's trying to go upper body here. Maybe get that inside trip. Oh, went to that low single. He's in on
nice
that.
low single from that underhook. And now he's up by 2.
He looks like a strong kid for sure. Like he's in there. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to do on top here. Just kind of going to a spiral. I know Gavit's been trying to expand their schedule some too. I know they used to go to that War on the Wabash down in Lafayette and trying to go over. I know their goal is to get to the team state portion also. I think this is a team that they've done a lot of work with the younger ages. I know Hayden Luter's had a lot of younger success. I know Juan Torado had a lot of younger success. Edgar Decker, I believe, was a middle school state champ. Good switch here. He's got that ankle still, though.
That was one thing when during the offseason when we had our Takedown Tuesday show, we talked to Chris Soyka, and he talked a lot about working with the younger kids in recent years and everything and developing those youth programs.
Oh, what a way to recognize the position and scramble. Gill, you don't want to be there.
No, that's going to be, let's see if we get 3 there. I think you got 5. Nope, 2 near fall.
Makes it 6-4 in favor of Johnson.
Yeah, Gavit's putting together back-to-back years of state qualifiers, or, they missed last year. But I think they have a couple guys that are going to have shots. I think Will Earls is real tough at 145. We're going to see him. I also believe, Hayden Luter. He has a little Portage background, too. He's related to the McMurrays.
Yeah, McMurray, so good wrestling bloodline there.
Seen TJ in the house.
Yep. Older cousin here to support for that last Gavit match for him.
Edgar Decker, I believe he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
So, that's a guy that I'm sure that they think they can get into the mix. Heavyweights, a tough weight. We've seen some tough sophomores last weekend, or underclassmen Jack Reese and Theodore Sparks. They got a monster out of New Prairie. That guy's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter
Whiteneck. Yeah, he has not gone 6 minutes yet this year.
Wow.
So, going to the legs here, third period. Trying to get to this power half position.
Yeah, got legs in, got power half. I'd say you want to continue to work on that half.
He's kind of going to a wrist and a half here from the legs. Stalemate there, 133 left. Seen Drew Hughes take a lot of shoulders home in that position, so. That's a quick first move, though.
Yeah.
He was on that whistle.
Yeah, both of those guys are ready to explode off of that. Yeah, so we'll see if Gill's going to continue to work on top, being down by 2 in the third. I know he's been trying to throw in legs and work hard to get a turn from there, but
How long do you think that? I mean, you're doing some coaching now, and you're in a lot of these matches. How long are you gonna let him work on top before you let him up? 1 minute.
1 minute. Once it hits that 1 minute mark, and nothing's really working, I'm cutting him. I'm putting him on his feet. He's already scored. He scored nice low single earlier, so you have offense in there. If you put a good ride that first minute to really wear on this guy, give yourself a shot to go get a couple takedowns.
Well, we're under that minute mark now. 50 seconds to go in this match.
I mean, he's close. He's really got to just kind of crank this over, right? Like, you don't want to keep going to that wrist, but if you can get high on that elbow, right now you're just riding like you have the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, right here you got to be going to work. You got him flattened down on his belly. You got to be focusing on your turns now, because you have about 30 seconds left to go get 2 swipes, and I believe Johnson has no stall calls, so
No.
20 seconds remaining.
Trying to get a turn here, 10 seconds.
Five seconds. That's going to do it at 138.
yeah, it was a good match by both guys. Gill put himself in a little bit of trouble there that cost him the match there in the second period, but other than that, good showing
Yeah,
out of him. And then Johnson, way to get the job done for the Brickies.
definitely something to build on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this might be Connor Johnson here, right? They said they were bumping up.
Bumping up, guys?
Yeah, they were bumping up. So I think this is Connor Johnson. I think the last one was Johnny McGill.
Yeah, it could have been.
And so we have Connor Johnson and Will Earls.
Yeah, because they didn't have anybody originally listed at 145.
Yeah, Will Earls came back last year after tearing his ACL at Disney Duels. So quick turnaround. Got back out there. You could definitely tell that he hadn't been on the mat a lot in the sectional and regional. After a real successful freshman year.
Yeah, you could tell he tried to give it a go. Not much mat time. And how far did you end up making it?
Semi-state, yeah.
Hey, man, that shows guts right there.
I mean, he's going out, running on a good shot there, a good dump. I think he has a misrepresented loss on Indiana Mat. I think he only has the 2 losses. One to, he's kind of like a cross cradle locked up.
Yeah.
One to Ethan Kaiser. I think you had that. Was he at the Hobart Duels? You guys seen that one?
Yeah, we didn't get to see that one. They had that duel in the field house,
Yeah.
so we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, Gavit was in the field house all day for the Super Duels, and so we were just in the main gym.
Got a cradle locked up here.
Yeah, Earl's going to work. You could tell on top that's what he was looking to go to. Whether it was a cross cradle that I've never really seen too often, but right on the near side. So he's trying to finish out, put a little exclamation point on his Gavit career right here too.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where some of these guys go, because I think the school district's gonna be cut in it's gonna be cut in half, right? Like some are gonna go to
Hammond
Some are going to go to
Central.
Hammond Central, some are going to go to Morton.
It'll be interesting. Whoever's gonna end up getting the guys like Will Earls, you're gonna get some guys that can help a lineup real quick.
Yeah, don't be surprised if some end up at Bishop Knoll.
Yeah. Who's I haven't even seen any results for Bishop Knoll this year. Bishop Knoll had a good run there in the early 2000s when David was there. They put together a really good team.
Yeah.
David Maldonado. Oh, that you kind of got this wing, lost it there. His other loss is the Kraus of Knox.
That was that same day too. Knox was there, so they probably got the
Oh,
rest
kind
of
of got an ankle here. He's got him hooked. We got backs here. Nope, got a reversal.
But you got to be careful with that leg pass there if you're
Got 2
Earls.
swipes, yeah.
Final 5 seconds.
So
Yeah, if you're an experienced wrestler, when you're on bottom, you really don't want to get to those leg passes too much, because these refs now are looking, because you're putting yourself in danger to be exposed for those swipes. So
yeah, I'm not sure if he knew that he had given up the reversal there. I think he went for that leg pass and then he gave the reversal and he got the 2 swipes right there right afterwards. So one of the things we always talk about on Guerrilla Radio, they always talk about, region wrestling, guys from the region. We go up to the region to, get that region style, and I never really understand. He's gonna get high on the legs there. It's a lot more aggressive, heavy hands, in your face style than they wrestle around the state. And the teams that generally come up here from Indianapolis or Fort Wayne area, that's what they're looking for. And you see a lot tonight. Even the guys that you could tell a little bit more inexperienced, they're real heavy on the head. They're pounding the head.
Oh, yeah, a lot of forward, a lot of hand fighting, a lot of banging on the head, heavy-handed guys. I think it's just we're built a little bit different up here, breathing that steel mill air. So it's just some blue-collar wrestling kids, man. They really just want to get after it. So
I think they even say, like, the officials, kind of officiate different even up north. So, like I was talking, like, the guy that we do the show with, he's from, the guy that runs the site, actually, he's from Fort Wayne. He said, they call stalling a lot quicker. They call it more stalling. And when I watch wrestling around the state, I'm like, they're stalling, man. You need to hit them right now.
yeah.
And, because, you get that region style of officiating where those guys are, quick. Good underhook there by Johnson. Going, nice knee pick.
Yeah.
Right into a cradle here. Oh, he's going to get it back here. Looking for the fall. There's a minute and 18 left.
Oh, he's in trouble.
I mean, that went from a 7-5 match where Johnson was on his back for a lot of that first period to now Earl's on his back here. It's going to be close.
Minute left here in the second.
Yeah, it's a long time to fight.
Yeah.
And he's dead
fall.
right.
Good win there. Connor Johnson bumping up and getting a good win.
That's going to make it 27-6 in favor of Hobart.
I know that was a guy that had been in the lineup a lot, and we talked about him in the match before with Johnny McGill. Senior.
Yeah, if our lineups are a little bit off, if you joined us earlier, they're doing some bumping around, and we didn't get the update, so.
I'd assume this is Gavin Miller. They didn't have a 45 for Hobart. So 52 here. Who do you guys got for Gavit?
I got Jacob Heidenreiter.
Heidenreiter.
And we just heard somebody else come on Jake, so.
Good down block to an underhook for him there to eat that double leg attempt by Miller.
Trying to go to this front headlock too. You gotta be careful there, pulling guys on top. They're going to hit.
Headlock position. Oh. And he pulls back.
You need the takedown.
Good little headlock counter there, the little suck back. Now he's throwing in legs right away too. These Gavit guys really like the leg ride today.
Yeah. He's got a little bit better position than they did earlier. Earlier they were kind of getting off to the side a little bit, a little higher. But now he lost it. Now he's going to this cross wrist ride. So legs and cross wrist ride all day here. Gonna lose it though. Jacob Heidenreiter looks like he could be pretty strong. He's muscling through some of those positions.
He's muscling through positions too that some guys would be giving up for sure.
He's a big kid for 52.
Yeah, he's got a wing here.
Yeah, and the cross wrist, they
ditched it there.
Ditched the wing. Now he's right back to it.
You got like a leg and a wing, and
he's throwing the book at him on top.
He's a little too deep at that leg. You got to kind of lace. Now he's trying to pull in here.
Trying to really extend him.
You can get some backs here. 22 seconds.
Punch
it
the
over.
mat. Yep, punch the mat. Ring him like a rag. Step over with the half.
There it is.
Heidenreiter.
15 seconds.
If he would have settled there, he had it.
Yeah, I see a lot of younger wrestlers or guys that are newer to wrestling when they get that half, they sometimes forget to settle in, where you could really put a match away. But Heidenreiter coming out 5-0.
Yeah, he's kind of doing a little chain wrestling in the top position, kind of going a bunch of different turns. He finished right there with a bar arm. He had a wing, cross wrist ride, some legs, power half.
You're watching High School Wrestling on the Region Sports Network, presented by Team Toyota on 41 in Cherville. Do business with the team that supports wrestling, Team Toyota.
Looks like Heidenreiter's going to switch here. He's already covered the legs. I think if he elevates here, he's going to get some back points.
Elevate, pressure to the head. Now right into a half. He's flowing well on top. I'm liking what I'm seeing on the Heidenreiter. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the Gavit lineup. What is he, like, age-wise?
I don't have a grade on him. We can look that up.
If he's young, he could have a pretty good future. He's strong. He kind of flows in there pretty good. Good hips. Got an underhook on that other side for Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller, a sophomore. Good double. There's a single here.
Whizzer, nice cutback. Let's see if.
He got high hip over. He's gonna try to get this leg in. He snakes
Yep.
that.
Heidenreiter's doing a good job.
Yeah,
He finally he finds that ankle.
Now he's gonna roll over here. Oh, right
But-
to.
You do not want to do that.
No.
Put yourself in trouble when you're controlling the match.
Now he's got a bar arm here. He's ditching it. I thought he was gonna go with that Zane Rutherford right there.
Yeah.
Trying to run that. Heidenreiter come right back up. Fighting hands. Going to a switch. 25 seconds left.
Yeah, he's not stopping wrestling, man.
Trying to get. I think he got. This is where he got his back points on short time before. I wonder if Gavit still has all their old singlets, like from back in the day. He could have did a little throwback night.
I was hoping so. I was hoping they were going to go throwback night. I know my senior in DAC, one of the old Portage wrestlers gifted me a singlet from like 1979.
Yeah.
So I wore it. Oh, it rode up tight, but
Oh man.
nice and high.
Okay.
Very clothy.
Calumet, they keep their singlets for a long time. I think like that 1980s singlet was their like backup JV singlet. So I think my first year at Calumet, I got to wear it. But man, that thing was high as high can be. So he's got the arm here.
Way to put it on the other side, right into a half. See if he could settle in.
Yeah.
He's got like a little Turk position with
Yeah.
a half here.
Keeps that leg.
Go attack that
Yeah.
far shoulder. Head up.
Has like he had some stuff. He looks like he's watching a lot, like learning. Maybe cut those top attacks in half and really clean those up, like really perfect those. I think he can make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, it seems like he might not know, but he does. He kind of has a natural feel to go score points in some funky situations. So I mean, he's putting together a nice performance here.
Yeah,
tonight.
he's throwing a lot together in the top position, which I think is difficult. Now you don't want to pull him on top of you here, but this is you work a lot on your feet. If he can get in the top position, you don't really have to force it there.
50 seconds remaining.
And for Miller, being a young guy in the varsity lineup for Hobart, kind of want to finish this match strong for yourself. Just building if you're going to be in the lineup, running down the conference term in the postseason.
Now he's going to try to punch this over with 23. Oh yeah, and I mean, even in that room, you're getting Tyler Turley every day. You're getting Connor Johnson, Trevor Triana. You want to get some head control there. Lost it there. 10 seconds. They want to get one more turn for the tech. 3, 2. I don't think he's going to be able to get it.
Nope.
So it's going to be the major, though. Pretty impressive.
Jacob Heidenreiter of Gavit, 17-3 winner here at 152 pounds.
So now we're going to have Tyler Turley, ranked 7th in the state, or 6th. He was 6th last year. Tyler's a guy that's been around for a long time. I feel like he's been a 52, 60 for a long time, too. Real good football player, had a real good state championship game. Probably not the finish they wanted, but
Not the finish that they wanted, but hey,
You're playing in the state championship.
You're playing in the
game.
state championship, kind of bringing that Hobart tradition back to life here,
Yeah,
football-wise, with Soyka and those guys.
good elevate there. Had 100 yards rushing, right? Touchdown.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, their only touchdown of the game.
Pretty heavily taped hand. Hopefully there's nothing serious. I think he had that at
Yeah, he had that when we saw him earlier this season. He's had that hand taped up pretty well. I think he might have had it even during football season too in the state championship.
Especially in Odin Sanders of Gavit.
Owen Sanders with the throwback headgear too. Don't see a lot of those anymore.
No, not too many.
Good wing there.
Yeah, that's tight. The way to be tough, Sanders there.
Yeah,
It's not a comfortable or an easy situation
Another
to
wing
fight out
there.
of.
yeah. This is a tall order. I mean, I believe that he's the only medalist in the gym. You know, he's probably expecting to be in the state semifinals this year. Had a good run last year. There's the fall.
Tyler Turley with the fall, 44 seconds remaining in the first. Gives Hobart a 33-10 lead.
So this looks like it's Michael Babcock. This is Larry's other son. I seen he got a win the other night. Got a forfeit. He's going to send Jake Simpson up. Jake Simpson ranked in the state, getting a lot of buzz around the state after the team state. A lot of guys down south there, asking why he wasn't ranked higher and said he was ultra impressive.
Yeah, he's been putting together a heck of a season for himself. Really putting his name on notice around the state. He's been wrestling really well. A few times that I got to see him wrestle so far this year.
And this is John, what is this?
Jacob Stepik.
Jacob Stepik. So a couple Jacobs out there. Simpson, we get to see him all year round. His mom's one of the softball coaches in the area. His sister's probably going to play Hobart softball. I know she played volleyball, I believe, too. Great family. His Danny Bella's stepdad, been helping out for a long time.
Yeah, he's been
I think
everywhere for wrestling, man.
Tossing the legs there. I think Jacob Stepik's coming down a weight to kind of help him out. Got a leg in there. He's going to try to come out the back door, get this reversal. I think Stepik coming down from 95 is going to open a spot for Torado. I think they have another guy, Miles Lenore, who's going to be able to step in, who I think was a regional guy last year. Talking with Coach Soyka, you know a lot of the guys, and you see their names across a lot of the results, and you're like, man, that guy can make a run. Once they get him back, and I know they were missing some guys. Juan Torado's a guy that has been wrestling for a real long time. Is it not Juan Torado? I might be saying that different. It might not be Juan. I might have worked with the Juan Torado.
But they got 4 guys out of their usual lineup, including Torado, that are still out. A couple seniors as well.
Yeah, it's
out of
Juan.
the Gavit lineup.
That's deep. Simpson got, and this, the guys around the state. This is not a draw anyone wants right now.
No, he's hot. He's been hot this year, and he just keeps building momentum. Simpson's not a guy you want to see.
No, he was good. We saw a lot of Hobart last year, and you could see over the course of last season just his growth from when the first time we broadcast Hobart to the state tournament, just how much he got better over the course of last season and continued into this season, clearly.
I think it'd be interesting to see what they end up deciding with him, whether it's 82 or 70. I think he can compete at both. I think that 182 maybe make a little deeper run. Forfeit there at 95. So now we're going to go 220.
And he was also part of that state runner-up.
Yeah, he was in their middle linebacker, right?
Yeah, I was playing linebacker for him. I felt like I heard him and Babcock's name every time a tackle was made on defense.
Yeah. So now we're going to have – this is Hayden Luter from Gavit. Hayden Luter ranked in the state. I believe he only has 2 losses. Or maybe he only has the 1 loss to Gage DeMarco of Chesterton.
And for Hobart, this is Aiden Olagi.
Yeah, I heard him saying Lagi, so I was looking.
Freshman. Tough draw if you're a freshman from Hobart here.
You know, Luter's been in that position too. He's only a junior. He's been at 220 the last 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, he's been a household name for him and Gavit the last couple of years, being a young guy in an upper weight. So now this year, being a junior and considered an upperclassman, he's looking to make himself a run to get to Banker's Life for the Gladiators this year.
Rocking some baby blue socks here. I think, you know, when you're one of the bigger guys like, you know, Luter, and you're an underclassman, and Decker coming up, you have a lot of opportunities to wrestle summer, because I think a lot of teams are looking for those bigger guys to fill some of those dual teams we talked about before, where there's a lot of opportunity. I know I asked Coach Soyka this summer. There was a couple of teams looking for heavyweights or bigger guys, and you know, he said Luter was available. I don't know if he ended up getting in with those guys, but you know, it's an opportunity to go wrestle, you know, across the USA. And we talked about it when Bobby Joe, and I'm sure that you've even experienced it, where you know, wrestling can take you across the country, and you know, guys like Stefan or Jesse Mendez, you know, has taken them across the world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it builds connections all across the country. Get your name out there, being able to travel with some of those teams if you're competing in the off season as a heavier guy, because probably by that time these guys are probably playing a couple dual sport athletes too, with football themselves, being big guys, linemen. So while they're hitting the weights for football, hey, you could keep wrestling, getting your name out there for some college looks too.
So 0-0 first period. Aiden Alage is a freshman. He's 3-5 on the season. So probably had some real tough ones when Bobby was in there. You know, Bobby, one of the highly ranked 220s. Pretty much an athletic freak. Must take after his mom.
Lewis, you mentioned wrestling taking you across the region, across the country. Teased it earlier, your connection here with Gavit, one of your earliest wrestling rooms here.
Yeah, one of the few earlier wrestling rooms that I was in my youth days. I grew up from K through fourth grade before I made the move over to Portage, right there on 170th Street in Tapper. So I got to be a part of Edison Elementary and Old Wilson Elementary before I got taken down. So yeah, so I got some roots, got some family over here in the
I was gonna say, I didn't think they made him this tough in Portage. You know, he had to come from somewhere.
Mike, you can give out your email address for Portage fans to send you that hate mail.
You know, we got on that topic. Gary McGill, Eric McGill's dad, wrestled at Gavit. He was a state qualifier in 1981. This was the first room Eric McGill wrestled in. Gary wanted him to compete in the room for 2 years before he ever stepped on a live competition. And, you know, went to his old coach and asked him if he could do that, and they said that was fine. So, a couple champs coming through there. Back in 79 and 81, they had one of the toughest guys, two-time champs when it was a pretty rare feat, Ken Chiroli. Pretty cool. The first Lake County tournament they ever did, they brought out all the Lake County state champs to hand out awards, and Ken Chiroli was there handing out awards for those guys.
Ken Chiroli went on to wrestle at Indiana University. Member of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame.
Well deserved.
And that's some of the history we're celebrating here tonight, with this being the final duel at Gavit, with the school closing at the end of the year.
Yeah, lots of, you know, a lot of the stuff that, you know, I remember, like I said, like the early 2000 teams were really tough. I just looking over there, you see, you know, the sectional championships, you know, 97, 98, 96, 97, 98. You know, those are teams that, you know, had a lot of tough guys on there. You know, we talked about some of the guys that were in that time, but like some of the guys that were wrestled, you know, even further back than that. You know, you had guys, you know, like Dennis Bond, who was a runner-up and a champ in 68. Jerry Cameron, who was a semifinalist in 69. Glenn Beverly, 98-pound state qualifier when they still had 98 pounds as a weight class. 76, 79, Dave Dunlap. Ken Chiroli, a two-time champ. Gary McGill, a qualifier. Abe Martinez, a qualifier. Eric Meyer, 94, was an eighth placer at 135. Brad Aguano, heavyweight, 1995. Even one of my coaches had coached here before he was at Calumet, Sean Bagley, who's now a principal at Lake Central. Sean was at the Citadel and then was at Gavit, then came over to Calumet. Now he's, you know, I don't know. I think they have like age group principals at Lake Central. I'm not positive. So 1-0 here.
A minute 10 remaining in this match.
Yeah, a little bit surprising here. I mean, if you're a looter, you want to open up just a bit more. I mean, you don't want to put yourself in any danger, but when you're a guy that's on the cusp of making a run to state in your last home duel representing the Gladiators, want to get to some attacks more, especially against a young guy that might not be that experienced.
Yeah, when we talked about it in the Streck and Will Clark match, you want to get to some dominant tie positions. I mean, collar tie is a good position to defend, but it's not really a good place to score unless you got like a good pick. But you want to get some elbow passes, maybe get to that underhook and get to some offensive spots where you can kind of dictate where you're going to go.
22 seconds left in this match. Hayden Luter of Gavit still up 1-0.
Trying to get this 2-on-1.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job this whole match of clearing ties. I just would like to see him hustle more to an angle to really fire off that offense. But, I mean, he's sitting in the phone booth and hand fighting and clearing ties constantly, which is good. That sequence right there, if he could do that more earlier in the match, those fakes, especially as a big guy.
It was a 1-0 match. We missed the
1-0
period,
match, yeah.
talking history. And now I got Edgar Decker. He's a big boy, man. He's a big, strong kid.
Yeah, look at the calves on that guy.
And you're going to have Alex Pickett, a junior. He's 6'7".
Another member of that Hobart Brickies football team played defensive line for Craig Osika's defense.
Edgar Decker, I believe, was an IHS WCA middle school state champ as an 8th grader, which I think is a really cool event. It kind of gives us a better feel, where those guys are going. When they're coming in. That was there when you were there, right?
Yeah. It kind of started really picking up steam during my middle school years.
I was gonna say, I think the first year they had it was 2003. So I remember we had a group of Calumet kids go down there. But now it's become a huge event. Becoming a 3-timer there is a really prestigious thing. There's not been many.
No, not many at all.
It's not to the level of what Ohio does yet, where Ohio makes every middle school compete in a middle school state. So good front head there by Decker.
You can just see his strength
Yeah,
right there.
it's just power.
And now he's got this wing a little bit high and needs to settle. Now there you go.
And it's hard. It's hard when you're a big guy to get up from that.
Yeah, there's a fall.
Edgar Decker with the fall. 51 seconds remaining in the first. That was impressive.
Yeah, whatever Hammond School gets some of these guys. I mean, even you can see some of the guys that we don't know the names of that came out here scrapping tonight. Whichever Hammond gets to get a hold of those guys, man. I guess that's the positive here with the consolidating schools.
Yeah, you're going to consolidate the talent as well.
Yep.
Looks like we're going to have Jason Mejia here at 106, junior. Like, this is like one of those things at 106 you get sometimes, right? Like Jason Mejia, a junior, got a little bit more ink, and this looks like a baby.
Yeah, you got a young, probably freshman here, Sanders.
Yeah, Tillman Sanders.
Tillman Sanders.
Yeah. But that's a guy that can grow into a weight, Mejia had a weight behind the Shammerts. And a couple other guys, probably Padilla, got a cradle locked up here. Fall.
And there's the fall before I can even get the scoreboard updated on the screen there. And that was our final match of the evening. Hobart's going to win the duel by a final of 57-19. Impressive performance for Hobart. We saw a couple impressive performances out of Gavit as well. But again, guys, the reason we wanted to be here this evening, final duel for Gavit Wrestling. It was a fun night to be here. Good to see a crowd out here just kind of celebrating the history of Gavit Wrestling. And every day we get closer and closer to the state tournament as well. Fun times are right around the corner.
Yeah, I think they've kicked around some ideas and make sure it's going to be a go. I'm pretty sure they're going to have it, which is exciting. It's exciting for Indiana because there's a lot of states that aren't going to have it.
Yeah, there's some announcements out of Illinois today that it's not looking good.
And I know some Indiana guys that are wrestling out there that feel like they kind of got duped and that they could have been competing in Illinois. And there's some seniors that aren't going to get a chance. I was talking to a guy that had a kid that's when you're getting recruited the most. When you're a junior going in to be a senior, you lose. You wrestle your state tournament. You lose the summer where you're getting recruited heavily at Fargo and those tournaments, and then now you're losing your senior year. There's a lot of money that's going to be on the table for those guys that they weren't receiving. Looks like they're giving a plaque to Chris Stoyka here.
Yeah, they're giving a presentation to the coaches.
Well deserved. Those guys have done a great job.
Is that Coach Weiss?
Yeah, Coach Wise. He's such a good dude, man.
Yeah, both guys, for grade A class of the region when it comes to wrestling coaches and what they're promoting here in Hammond.
And if you need a parking spot for the Hammond Festival of Lakes, Coach Stoyka lives right there. He lets
That's
you park
true, he
right in
does.
his driveway.
That's true. I don't know if it's a let or if it's a
It's who you know.
a bit
It's
of a
not about
trade.
what you know. It's who you know.
It's a little bit of a trade-off. You get the parking spot. You might have to pay a little bit, but that's all right. But yeah, definitely good guys there at Gavit, and we appreciate all the folks here at Gavit for letting us come out tonight, including Doug Friend, the athletic director. Thanks for his hospitality as well with this great setup we had. Reminder for everybody, we will be back on Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have the Duneland Athletic Conference tournament. We're going to have 2 different ways for you guys to watch it. We're going to have one with our featured match cam, which will show the best match that's taking place at the time. We're going to have another feed that will have a camera on all 3 mats. They'll be split up into quadrants on the screen, so we're going to have every match on one of the 2 streams at one point or another. We got you guys covered. We heard the feedback. We're going to make things even better for you guys.
Yeah,
so 2 separate streams for you guys from the DAC on Saturday.
Yeah, set your alarms for that one. Scramble the eggs early.
That's
yeah.
right.
Tune in.
And they'll take care of us at Crown Point there as well and get us fed. Bill Rule runs a nice job. So Saturday morning, 9 o'clock right here on the Region Sports Network. Be on the lookout for either of those 2 streams.
Yeah, make sure you're up for 132. That's going to be a heck of a weight, man.
It's going to be great. Going to be a fun day. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in here this evening. Thanks to Team Toyota, our presenting sponsor of wrestling tonight and all season long. Our executive producer is Chris Ramirez. On the camera tonight, Brandon Root. Doing the call of the matches, Louis Kuhn and Mike Reiser. Always fun to work with you guys.
We appreciate having us, man.
Again, thanks to Doug Friend here at Gavit. Thanks to Chris Soyka as well. For everybody at the RSN, my name is Nathan Laird. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. You've been watching High School Wrestling on the Region Sports Network, where the region comes to wrestle.